What's up, buddy? You can stay. Stay. It's all good. Hey, what's up, everybody? So I am back here with this 2014 Audi S4, which is my brother's car. And of course, yesterday, or in the other video right here, you'll see that I did the oil change on it. Today, I'm doing the brakes. I just wanted to go over a few things with you, so check it out. Here's the front brakes. I did the rotors and the brakes just now, and I know it's an Audi S4. Don't be intimidated by this vehicle. So far, so good, knock on wood. The front brakes were pretty straightforward, just like any traditional car. To remove the brake caliper from the bracket, you need a 13mm socket and wrench, and to remove the brake bracket from the suspension arm there, you need a 22mm wrench or a 3/4 inch socket or wrench. I used a 22mm, it fit perfectly fine. Two things to note. One, right here on the front, you'll see this metal bracket. To put the clamp back in spot, what I did when I was done was I took an oil filter, pliers like this, and a flathead screwdriver to pop it off. Pretty straightforward. To reinstall, I put the top end and the middle back in place, and I took a C-clamp to hold it in place, and then I took a flathead to pry the bottom back into place so it was secured. That's how the front brakes go. I didn't film it because it's really straightforward, and I just wanted you to note that one thing so far. The second thing to note is the sensor for the brake pads on this vehicle is on the driver's side. The driver's side has the sensor. Make sure your kit has a new sensor in place to hook into the harness, because I broke the old one on the way out not knowing how it is. It's not that long of a wire, so when you pull the caliper off, you're most likely going to rip the wire out because it's very delicate. So make sure you have a new one. If not, make sure before you remove the caliper, you go behind the rotor there and you disconnect the sensor from a plug, and then it literally untwists from the bracket and slides out. When you see, you'll understand what I'm talking about. It's got like a little pin on the top that goes into place. You're going to pull it out, twist it, and it comes out of its place. And then you can remove the caliper if you want to try to see. Alright guys, now that I got the tire off, you can see that the rear brake caliper is using a 13mm bolt. So I'm going to take that wrench, break both of those bolts off, remove that, and then the next thing I'm going to do is take off the electronic brake, which is right here. Alright, so there's the caliper off. Make sure you note that this is the top bolt. Very interesting situation that this looks like here. And this is the bottom. Both 13mm though. Here's the electronic motor. I'm going to go ahead and remove these two T30s like I said. And then I'm going to show you what's next. Alright boys, this is where things can get tricky if you don't have the right tools. So, in order to remove this motor from this caliper, okay, what I did was I took this screwdriver T30, put it in the bolts, and then I took an adjustable wrench and I broke it loose, because your traditional socket, your traditional T30 socket, is not going to get around the casing of the motor. So that's what I did to break the bolts loose. Once that is out, okay, carefully remove it. In order to collapse the caliper, you need to reset this by spinning this clockwise. Spin it clockwise until it stops spinning completely. So I'm gonna just keep going and going and going until it stops. Once that stops, you can go ahead and collapse the caliper back in place and proceed to remove the brake caliper, old pads, and old rotor. So here we go. Alright boys and girls, two major things to pay attention to. When you are reinstalling the electronic brake unit, make sure that gear that's here fits inside the hole that you reset with, so everything fits flush before you screw it on. Otherwise, you'll have a problem. Anyways, next thing I didn't want to bore you with, but I guess I got to note it. These bolts to take off the brake caliper are 18 millimeters. As you can see, they're two different sizes. So make note that the long one is for the top, the short one is for the bottom. And now you can see why I'm replacing the brakes, because there's none left. So we're going to replace the pads, go ahead, replace the rotor, and that should be good. The bolt that holds on the rotor, so you all know, is a T30 as well, and that's all 4 brakes, front and rear. So I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward and go ahead and remove this rotor, put new pads on. I think that's everything you really need to know. Just make sure you torque everything up. If you like what I'm doing here, again, hit that like, that share, and that subscribe, because I'm trying to grow this channel to produce cool content for you and the only people in the world that can help me.